Hey everybody, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com, and today we're going to take a look at some nice stretches that we can do on the guitar using some interesting chord forms that'll help warm you up and keep your fingers flexible. Now I already have a video where we take a look at some stretches off of the guitar, so you might want to find that. It's in the lessons archive in both the beginner, intermediate, and advanced sections of the site. But this one is going to really just be warming up on the guitar. So after you've done those off the guitar warm-up stretches, then we come here and we do some of these wide stretches, and we just gradually will build the flexibility in your fingers. So let's start. Make sure you look at the video's description. You'll see the link for to get the tab PDF for this lesson and follow along. We have 7 exercises here. So after doing those initial stretches, now we're going to start looking at chords on the guitar. I'm going to start with this first exercise. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on moving each individual adjacent finger away from one another. So we're going to start with this first chord here. It's going to start all the exercises except the last one. Your pinky at the 12th fret on the 5th string, your 3rd finger at the 11th fret on the 4th, on the 3rd string, the G string, you're at the 10th fret, your 2nd finger, and on the 2nd string, your 1st finger at the 9th fret. Now I'm going to be comping these down, so it's a good thing to maybe work on your comping. The lowest note's always picked, and then my middle finger, ring finger, and pinky get the other 3 notes. So we have that first chord, and then move the 1st finger back 1 fret. And then if you can do it, another fret. And then back up. So we have. Then move everything down 1 fret and do it the same thing again. And then again. So obviously the idea is to keep all the notes ringing together, yet being able to do that stretch and keep that stretch going. Now that worked on a stretch between the 1st finger and the 2nd finger. Now we're going to do this again, but this time we're going to work on the stretch between the 2nd finger and the 3rd finger. Now this is a lot more difficult. These 2 fingers don't want to separate too well usually. So what we're going to do here is, instead of going down more than 1 fret, we're going to hit the same first chord. This is exercise 2. And then we're going to take the 1st and 2nd fingers and move them down just 1 fret. That'll be difficult enough. And then back up, and then do it again. So we have it done twice. So that's the pattern that you're going to want to do just in case you can't do any of these exercises, even if it's just the first one or whatever. If you can't go the full stretch down, we'll just repeat going down 1 fret only, and then keep going down. So we have, then take it down 1 more fret. So obviously it gets more difficult as the frets get larger. All right, and the next one we're going to be moving the top 3 notes and keeping that note just on the pinky there. You might be able to go down 2 frets with this one, or maybe not. Once again, you can just go 1 fret if that feels more comfortable. Or do the going down 2 frets when you're at the smaller frets, and as you get to the larger frets, just double the 1 fret version of it. So that's obviously working on the stretch between the pinky and the 3rd finger. Now some guitars will be easier to do this on than others. Some have shorter scale guitars like a Les Paul or whatever. This is a Strat, so this has a little bit longer scale length than a Les Paul would have. But then you could be doing it on a classical guitar, which will give you, some big stretches that you'd have to do. So depending on your guitar, this might be very difficult or not as difficult. Now let's reverse all this. We're at exercise 4 here. Now we're going to be, instead of going 12, 11, 10, 9 across those middle 4 strings, we're going to start on the 5th string with your 9th fret now and just go 9, 10, 11, 12 across those 4 strings. So we just basically flip the shape. So we have just moving the 1st finger down, just try to keep the fingers that aren't moving as stable as possible, and use the base of your finger here, here at the bottom of your fingers where that movement comes from. Use the base of your finger to stretch out and reach for those notes. Okay, same thing again. We're going to be moving the top 2 down. So that's going to do a separation between the 2nd and 3rd finger again. So we're only going to do 1 fret down and back up. Do that twice. All right, and this last one, we're going to move the notes on the A, D, and G strings down. Once again, if the frets get too big, as you get down here, you can just go 1 fret and do that twice. Now just build up to this stuff. This doesn't mean you have to have these stretches down in a day or a week. They're just something to work into your routine, and you'll notice that the flexibility and your ability to position your thumb, which is when I'm doing these larger stretches, is kind of low on the neck. Your hand will start adjusting. Your fingers will go straight up. Your ability to stretch will become more comfortable. Now I'm going to finish this up with a cool little some chords that you can play here that involve fretted notes and harmonics, and require quite a stretch in order to do it, because we're going to do this. We're going to have the first note here, the 8th fret on the low E string, and then the 10th fret with your middle finger on the A string. And I reach up with a pinky, and with the middle finger, ring finger, and pinky here on my picking hand, I picked the D, G, and the B string, the harmonic at the 12th fret, while these bottom 2 notes got to still ring. Then do the same thing. The frets are going to get bigger, but we have the 3rd fret on the low E, 5th fret on the A, and then those same 3 strings, I'm picking the harmonic at the 7th fret. So you got to really be over that fret in order to make those harmonics come out. That's what makes it so difficult. And then all the way down to the 1st fret, 3rd fret, and then till we get those harmonics out. So all 3 together. Okay, so that's a nice little chordal exercise that makes you carry harmonics over the fretted notes by doing a pretty large stretch. Okay, so take your time with these. Don't hurt yourself. If you've experienced any pain, just stop. I like between these exercises sometimes just to kind of stretch just kind of shake your hand out. Kind of loosens it all up again, and it'll keep your hands healthy and nice and flexible. Okay, so please go to guitarlessons365.com if you haven't already. Put your request in for what kind of lessons you'd like to see. Support the site in any way you can with a premium subscription or a donation, and just help me keep these lessons coming and making it the best resource of its kind on the internet. Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye.